Boys, I'm here for the green.
What did happen
No
the
politics.
night Eisenhower went missing,
Now, if you'll
February
excuse me,
20th,
I have a tea time to
1954?
make.
Eisenhower
And that's the
arrived to a
plan.
vacation on February 18th, 1954, to a throng of reporters. The vacation starts with rounds of golf and cocktail parties, but he would soon disappear
What's the
thereafter,
situation?
with no information
Speak
of his
plainly,
whereabouts.
I don't want parlor talk.
It would end with an
Mr.
out-of-the-world
President, there
experience.
is a situation developing.
On that crisp desert evening, the world slept
Only the
while
circle
a
you
small
authorize,
group
sir.
of military
We've sealed the
officials
base perimeter.
gathered under the pretext
Radar
of a
contact is
secret
2117
meeting
over
at
Rogers
Edwards
Dry
Air
Lake.
Force
No
Base.
transponder. The craft
As
will make
President
its approach in
Dwight
20
D.
minutes.
Eisenhower's
Rest of the
motorcade
public
drove
remains
into the
in
night,
story.
an unexpected
For your orders, sir.
detour
No weapons raised
changed
unless you say
the
the
course
word. Men are
of
holding
history.
position.
In the stillness of the base's restricted airstrip, a sudden light filled the sky, brighter than any star, as a craft descended silently.
Whatever that is,
Unbeknownst to the outside world, this was the moment that had been long prophesied by the few who studied celestial matters beyond Earth, an encounter that would be shrouded in secrecy for decades.
Stepping out of the strange oval craft were not the creatures of science fiction, but beings of immense wisdom and calm demeanor. Tall, ethereal, and with skin as pale as moonlight, the extraterrestrials radiated an air of understanding. They moved gracefully toward Eisenhower, their flowing robes barely grazing the ground. It was clear from the outset that this was not an invasion, but an invitation.
The leader, a serene
Welcome to
female
Earth.
figure
This is the United
whose
States of
eyes seemed
America.
to hold the knowledge of millennia, reached out to Eisenhower, speaking not with words, but through a kind of telepathic understanding. There was no need for translators or formal introductions. Both parties understood the gravity of the meeting.
You seek peace.
The alien leader communicated, her mind touching Eisenhower's with clarity.
But your world teeters on destruction.
Eisenhower, a man hardened by war but deeply committed to the hope of peace, stood firm. His military instincts warned of deception, but there was something about the visitors that made him believe this was not a hostile encounter. "We are building weapons," he replied in his thoughts, "but we seek stability. What can you offer?" The aliens explained their purpose.
We are the custodians of balance in the universe. We visit civilizations on the brink of self-destruction to offer them guidance. We have watched humanity from afar, witnessing the horrors of the Second World War and the birth of the nuclear age.
Now, they offered a pact. They would share advanced technology that could revolutionize energy production, healthcare, and space exploration, but only if humanity agreed to disarm its nuclear weapons and pursue peaceful coexistence among nations.
But there was a catch, one that would weigh heavily on the president's conscience. In exchange for these advancements, the aliens requested that certain members of their species be allowed to remain on Earth, observing human development up close. They claimed this would help them better understand Earth's inhabitants and guide them away from destructive paths.
Eisenhower's brow furrowed. Could the world trust these extraterrestrial visitors? Were their intentions pure, or would their presence on Earth lead to unforeseen consequences? The president's military advisors, standing in the background, were visibly tense, uncertain of what was unfolding before them. The moment was brief, but the implications were vast. Eisenhower knew that such a decision couldn't be made lightly. The fate of humanity was on the table, and the secret of this night would remain hidden from the public, locked away in classified files and whispered only in the halls of power.
After a long pause, he reached out, grasping the hand of the alien leader in a symbolic gesture. The terms were set: technology for peace, with both sides watching each other closely. As the craft lifted into the sky, disappearing into the night, Eisenhower stood alone under the stars. His thoughts were heavy with the weight of the encounter. He had made the most important decision of his life, one that would steer the course of history in ways that the public might never know. And so the question hung in the night air like a held breath. Would a species bent on war find the courage to choose peace, or would the shadow of the unknown drag it back into ruin? In that silence, the president could do no more than shoulder the weight of a choice he could not undo, and walk forward hoping that his small, secret decision might buy the world a little more time. A year later, the nation would pin a new phrase to its currency: "In God we trust."